back to the channel, guys. It is 5:45 a.m. August 17th. It's currently 57 degrees out and we are on our way to the lake. I fished this lake for the very first time this past Friday. I fished for about an hour and a half and I probably only fished 200 yards of the shoreline with the frog. It's a real weedy, kind of a shallower muck bottom lake. It's a little over 100 acres, a lot of pads along the shoreline, and I found this lake on the aerial for the pads. I'm just looking for lakes with a lot of pads so I can throw that topwater frog around, and fished about 200 yards to the shoreline. We got out there at like 6 o'clock, fished till like 7:30. We had a couple good blow-ups and the fish just were missing them. And then I just decided to call it because I had to get up early the next morning and had to prep some of my fishing stuff for the next day too. So I decided to call it without catching any fish and called it early. And I figured I'd come back Sunday morning and give her another shot. So we're gonna probably fish for a good 5-6 hours till like noonish or something. We're gonna really take our time, work these pads good, and hopefully we get on some good bites and the fish are connecting with the frog. The topwater bite has been just amazing lately, especially the topwater frog and lily pads. I mean, the big fish are just in the pads right now from my experience. So we're on our way to the lake. We got all the rods in the back. It's about 15 minutes north of the cabin. So I'm pretty excited to break down this lake. Hope you guys enjoy and we'll see you out on the water. Alrighty guys, we got the boat in and we are at the lake. It's a little windy for 6 a.m. I was a little afraid of that. I could tell at the cabin the trees were blowing up on top. So we're probably gonna cut across the lake, get out of this wind so we can fish the frog. But I mean, yesterday or on Friday I was fishing all these pads up here, but we're gonna get out of this wind and fish some pads on the other side of the lake. Unfortunately, I think a lot of the pads are on this wind blown side. But way back in that corner, there's like a channel and it looks like it kind of goes back into a swamp. And there's quite a bit of water we can explore back there. So we got a bunch of water to fish. Stay tuned. Alright guys, kind of just came to the side of the lake over here just to get out of the wind, and this is why we come out here early. It's just beautiful out. A lot of weeds in this lake. I mean, we're gonna start throwing this chopple and work our way up to those pads. This looks real froggy though. Water temp 75 right now, surface temp. We're about 5 feet of water right now. We got some weeds coming almost all the way up to the top, which is perfect for this chopple. I think we are gonna catch some nice ones today. If we can get on some fish in these lily pads, I think they're gonna be in there, just whether or not they're connecting with the frog. All right guys, so we're up to these pads. Took a couple casts with the chopple as we got close, no luck. But we're gonna start throwing this frog up in there. These pads go way up in there and it looks pretty fishy. So we're gonna start casting. Hopefully we get a good one to connect. That was the first blow up of the day. I worked those pads right in this cove a little for a good 15 minutes without a single blow up. We just had a little fish right here. but we got a bunch of good shoreline coming up here, so pretty optimistic. Big swan. That's pretty cool. Oh my gosh. I don't know where my frog is. That was a good fish. It's not paying attention. That was our first good real blow up right in that open water there. That was a good fish. Frog is filled with water. I swear that happens so often. It's just as you look away, you get a blow up. Wow. That was a big bass. Literally, that thing was right up tight to the bank. Cast it in those cattails and just smoked it. He completely missed it. All right, guys, we just missed that bass right up tight to the cattails. I'm gonna cast right in the cattails. Just bring it right on the shore. So many good blow-ups on this lake. We have yet to connect with a fish between this morning so far and Friday. All right, let's try this again. There we go. Finally connected with one. That thing, they are up tight to shore. Not a big one. I think sure can hit it like a big one. Wow, first fish of the morning. First fish on this lake. Finally connected. Not a big one, but that's a start. Oh, that's a good one. It just slurped it. That was so cool. Oh, that's a good, really good fish. Wasn't even paying attention and I just heard my bait disappear. This might be a pike, honestly. Nope, it's a nice bass. Barely hooked. Get up in here, yep. Let's go. That's what we've been after. Look at that, barely hooked. These fish are really warm. On Friday, the water was 80. Just barely hooked right in the corner, slurped it. I knew there were some nicer fish in here. And that's a good LMB right there. Look at that one, guys. It's got kind of a battle wound right there. That's a nice, healthy, thick fish on the frog. Let's get a measurement. Man, that's probably a good 3-pounder. That thing was fighting hard. He's 17 3/4. That's a good one. Heck yeah. That is number 2 for the morning, and it's a good one. Feisty guy. Let's go. Oh, yeah. I saw that fish wake before he hit. Oh, God. He's still out. Oh. There he is. And we got a pike. It's been a while since we got a pike on the frog. Luckily, I don't think he did too much damage. Jesus. He was good. Little snake. That's the third fish of the morning. We'll take it. Kermit is taking a beating. I don't know how much more fish he'll be able to catch here. But we're just sitting on the edge of these pads casting. It's super thick in here, but this is just ideal conditions right now. There we go. Nice one. Real nice one. Look at that big mouth. Not much fight in him. Holy crap. That's a good fish. Oh, long. He's all messed up. He's like blind in one eye. His jaws got a sore right there. Look at that one. That's a long fish. That one's 19. Just shy of 19, I guess. 18 3/4. Another good one. Heck yeah. Look at that one. It's a nice one. Thanks, big girl. All right, guys, so we just caught that nice bass. That's our fourth fish on the topwater frog this morning. Third bass, one northern so far. And these pads are just perfect for this topwater frog. There's enough voids in between the pads, voids of water, and it's just ideal conditions. And the pads aren't super thick and they're not super big, so this frog is still displacing the water, which attracts the fish and allows the fish to still be able to connect with the frog and get hooks into them. So just perfect amount of pads, like in this area right up here, but up in front closer to shore, I mean, you can see the pads are just kind of all folded over each other, sticking way up out of the water. Like, you might get blow-ups up there, but you're never gonna get hooks into them because the pads are so thick. So looking for spaces of water between the pads is ideal for catching fish on the frog. And then another thing is, if you're casting and you see a big splash when your frog lands, that's also a good sign that your frog is actually touching water, which is in the end gonna make you catch these fish. So we're gonna keep casting. It's pretty windy out on the main lake, but I'm glad I got the sweatshirt on this morning. It feels like fall. So got the bear dogs barking in the background. They must be on a bear. It's been a good morning so far on this new lake. So we're gonna keep fishing. Hopefully we catch a couple nice ones. We got 3 bass and northern so far, and we just ran out of pads. We are gonna shoot across the lake to the other corner, and there's way more pads over there, and we're gonna keep fishing that frog. Stay tuned. All right, guys, we made a move. My plan was to fish in this area. There's a bunch of little channels back here and stuff, but the wind's ripping right out of there, as you can tell. So I don't know, we might go up there, but we'll fish these pads for a little bit. There's not much to fish, and there's a bunch of pads on the other end of the lake, but the wind's, that's all wind blowing. We might have to throw the swim jig. We'll see what happens here. There we go. Little one. digging way down in those weeds. Man, that thing's down his throat. Nice, that's the 5th fish, 4th bass. Look at that bait. It's been probably almost an hour now since we caught one. Little one. All right, guys, so we are starting to get into this wind-blown shoreline. And there's still quite a few pads, and we got good weeds. We're in 5 feet of water. It's kind of a deeper shoreline, so we're gonna start throwing the swim jig around, and hopefully we connect with some fish. It should produce, I would think, with fish being in these pads, and just, you got the depth, you got the weedy habitat. Thinking we should get into some. Probably gonna work this whole shoreline back. It's pretty weedy, a lot of lily pads, and I'm gonna work this whole shoreline back to the boat landing. There we go. That might be a bass. Feels like a bass. Okay. I finally got one. Nope, it's a northern. I thought it was a bass. Son of a gun. Ow. Calm down. Look at that bait. Gone. Do not close your mouth. I'm grabbing the blinders. Yeah, look at that. Shook it right off. That's a third northern. It's a third northern. All right, guys, so it's 9 a.m. We just probably worked a good half of the lake with the swim jig. Working the shoreline really fast in about 4 to 5 feet of water with pretty thick weeds. We ended up catching 2 pike, super windy, so that's why we were working it so fast. This boat really gets blown around with how light it is. We're kind of getting to this corner, and we're getting out of the wind, so and we passed the boat launch already, and these pads we skipped this morning because it was windy, so we went to the corner that wasn't wind blown, and now we're going to fish these pads again. It's a little calmer over here compared to the rest of the lake right now, besides this spot where we started this morning, but we had a lot of blowups in here on Friday, so hopefully we can get a couple and connect. Stay tuned. Oh, we got off. Oh. I'm just letting myself get blown in these pads. Oh, that was sweet. We didn't catch any fish with the swim jig at all, which was real surprising. And basically the wind's blowing in probably the worst way possible. All the good lily pads to fish. besides the stuff we fished this morning, is literally windblown. So definitely gonna have to be coming back here. And I just found out there's another channel that goes through different lakes. So there's a bunch of different channels to fish, and there's another lake to fish connected to this one. So we're definitely gonna be back here. I did hook into that fish for a little bit. We'll cast back, but I don't know if he's gonna eat again. That's a big fish. Oh my gosh. Stay on. Stay on. He snapped me. Oh my God. That's unfortunate. Well, hopefully that frog's not gonna be stuck in his mouth. I should have retied a long time ago. I've caught a lot of fish and haven't retied. That was a big one. Oh, that's so sad. My heart is broken. Dude, that fish hit again. Holy crap. I think that almost looked like a northern. I don't know what that is. That looked like a northern. That would make sense why it snapped me off. And that's a good sign that the frog is not in its mouth. Alrighty guys, we are calling our quits. It's gotta be close to 10 a.m. Fished for 4 hours. We caught 4 bass and 3 northern. 1 northern on the topwater frog, 4 of the bass on the topwater frog as well, and then we caught 2 northern on the swim jig. Really surprised I didn't catch any bass on a swim jig. We did miss some blowups in the beginning, and then at the end here we did miss 2 more blowups. Well, I guess 1 missed the blowup, 1 missed the frog, and then we snapped off on that big fish. I don't know what it was. At first I thought it was a bass, and I figured we snapped off because I probably caught over 10 plus fish without retying, so I figured it was that reason. And then I cast it back in there once I put a new frog on, and it hit again, which I thought was really surprising. So that kind of made me think it was a northern, and plus I kind of saw the back of it and it kind of looked like a northern, but I'm not sure. It was hard to tell either way. But overall, good morning on this lake. Like I said, this is basically my first time fishing. I did come here for the very first time 2 days ago on Friday and only fished 200 yards of shoreline, and had some good blowups on the frog in this area where we're stopping and just couldn't connect with them. But I think these pads are cursed right here by the boat landing, because I did miss those 2 just a little bit ago. But overall, a very good day. There's definitely some big fish in here. Great habitat, real weedy, lots of pads, lots of bait fish everywhere just to produce those big bass. So we're definitely gonna be back. There's a bunch of channels and stuff, and another lake too to explore, as well as a bunch of pads that we really couldn't fish because they were windblown. And I do think we would have really caught more bass if we kept fishing that frog, but it's just too hard in the wind. So we're gonna head back to launch here. Hopefully this audio isn't too bad. I'm trying to get tucked out of the wind, but really fun morning. Pretty good conditions besides the wind, but still glad I got out here. Hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.